Hello, this is Uhasa, and welcome to a Ravaged Realm Ultimate Guide, where we're going to showcase all the squads, all the formations, all the charms, and showcase the heroes that we use for each composition. So let's get right into it. We're just going to go through everything from the beginning, and remember this is long form content, so take advantage of the time skips to skip to wherever you want. So at the start, we have Setsahara here, who is the boss of the Ravaged Realm. We're going to go through the rules. It has 3 phases: Squad Rotations, Ultimate Siege, and Valor Awards. The Squad Rotations is where we are at now. It lasts for another 8 days, and then you have where you rotate between the 4 squads once each day. The second phase is Ultimate Siege, where we get to use it seems to be 2 squads over a period of 2 days, so 2 squads each per day, and then the total damage of each squad will bring you your final damage. So it's just combined for your damage, and then the person who comes within the first the final rankings here, you get these rewards. I am doing very, other than this one, the Immortal Squad, rank 55 is horrible, but all the other squads I'm reaching top 5 right now. So, or actually, top 5 to top 20 somehow there. So this 55 might bring me down to top 50, but maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to get to the top 20. Moving on, the Valor Awards are just the awards where you just get given rankings and titles and stuff like this. Moving on, during the squad rotation phase, you use a different squad each day. Yep, so we just talked about all that. You start in difficulties with the super easiest one, and then the last one is endless mode, so it's just like Dream Realm. And then, yeah, that should be okay. At the end, every day or every time you finish the rounds each day, you get Valor. So they look like these. You get Grimstones that look like bananas to me. A mysterious crystal from Ravaged lands. And then you can spend on stellar crystals and these temporal essences. You can get the blue ones as well, which are tidal essences and ATS stuff. So you can see I've bought all the crystals and all the yellows, and now I'm just gonna spend the rest on the blue or whatever else I can get. Moving on, we're gonna go through the Setsahara's abilities. You can see that he is a physical damage dealer with 20 range, so he can attack from very far away. Has 4 abilities. The ultimate is Devouring Sands, which is a he goes into the quicksand underneath, goes in the center, kind of does like a slow Aeron ulti, but pulls everyone towards the center, and then in the end he knocks everyone up into the air before returning to his original spot. Heavy Slam. This is where he just literally slams his body down onto everyone, and he knocks them down for 3 seconds. Sand Howling. This is just a shockwave that deals damage to all enemies, so AoE attack. And Forbidden Sands, where it's not active, it's just a passive, where the movement speed of all units are reduced by 30%. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the Graveborn. This is how you do testing, so I recommend just to copy the formations, copy the charms, and then at the same time using what you have, what's the best invested heroes that you have, what's the charms that you have that are similar or have the same theme, because you won't have the exact same units and the exact same charms as me or other people. And huge shout out to Analytica, to Meadow369. We're using his infographics, and then I'll be sharing my composition, and then we'll showcase the composition. So for the Graveborn, there's two main teams you can go. So you have the first one here, where you have a mix of physical and magic damage, but still Quick Blade spell is the most effective compared to Evocation. In the second team, you are focusing on Talene. You have Carolina, who's reducing the boss's magic defense. And then you have Ludovic, who's perfect for Talene to heal her up. And then you have Thorin's seasonal ability, which increases the damage dealt to the boss. So Crescent or Evocation will work either way, but just see and test which one deals more damage. For the core, you can see the teams, this is what you need, but you can flex. Flex means that you can substitute these heroes out for other heroes, so they're not necessary. For secondary teams, based on what you chose for your core team, then you want to use the rest in any of these ways, and then suggested formations are here. Now, I don't have Talene, which is why I feel that my damage is so meager, and so this is what I'm currently using. So you probably don't want to copy me if you have a Talene especially, but this is what I'm using for Team 1 and Team 2. I'm going to quickly showcase how they fight. So I'll just show this just in case people don't know. You can check all your challenge records even if it's not on the current day. So I could check the Dauntless one, but we're currently in the Immortal one. Just looking for my highest one. It's 19 mil, 19.3. Oh, this one did better. Okay, so this is what I used, and I'll just share the replay of Team 1 and then Team 2. So Salazar isn't really recommended because although he's very PvP oriented, his damage isn't that great when it comes to bosses. So everyone's kind of doing similar kind of damage. You have Cecia to help with Mr. Carlisle and Scarlita. Thorin's seasonal ability really helps. See the damages here. So it's pretty spread out pretty well. Scarlita and Cecia doing the most damage. And then we'll take a look at Team 2. Oh, the music for the Team 1 fight end results is still going. It's funny. Okay, so Ludovic, remember, even though he's a healer, he still does some damage with his exploding berries. Carolina here, I think, does the most damage because she is quite bursty in the sense with her snowballs. And Viper, he's mainly an AoE kind of damage dealer, so it is what it is. Wait, I can't even see my timer. I can't see my timer or my exit button. This is so weird. Okay, I just pressed escape. Okay, alright. Alright. Now we're gonna move on to the charms. So this is the charms that I recommend. So you have Arcane, Blast, Overload, Gale. I don't really. You want to use the purple one here. I forgot the name of this one, but the reds are just because of supplements. Again, you want to give, if you are using Nero, you want to give him more damage, more attack. Says here Gale for attack speed. Okay, and Igor, I didn't have the hammer one enough. No, I didn't have the sword one, which gives crit and crit. So just trying to boost the damage for this. And Salazar for attack and crit as well. Next is the Mauler Teams. They have no Hypergean or Celestials because you have Mikola, you have a lot of Mauler units that are quite effective against the boss. So here are the two main teams that you can use. The first one, both of them are both quick blade oriented. They're all physical damage, and the difference between the two seems to just be the positioning. And so if you don't have a Mikola, I highly recommend that you just get one copy, that's enough. But if you don't, you can use Coco as a substitute. And for offense, if you don't have Seth, then replace with Reese. If you don't have Reese, replace with Brutus, and if not, then Soren. And surprisingly, Soren does less damage, which is very strange. In the secondary team, you're using your magic units into one, and these are a mix. You have Citrana here in the center to ignite. You have Smokey, Odie, and Elsa just in different positions. If you are using this, just test and see which one does more damage. For my one personally, I used magic first instead, all magic in my first team, and then I use Enlightening. No, this is Cascade. And then for the second team, I focused on all physical. This is probably just because my all magic team does more damage, and yeah, the physical like this. So I'll go through the charms first. So Odie, Gale, Smokey, this is upgrading his skill power and haste. You have Shakir. If you can, try to get all of the purple one, but I didn't have, so I had to use overload. Coco, this is energy on hit, so every time she gets hit, her ulti, her energy for her to cast ulti is sped up. You have Brutus. If you do use Brutus, then you get the attack. Elsa, all overload is better. It's just I didn't have overload, so I used attack. Same thing here for overload. Citrana, now you're not going to use Citrana, but if you do, again, you're boosting attack. Kruger, you're using the hammer, not the scythe. And if you are using Lumon, then use the blast one. Shout out to all my Lumon lovers. Okay, and now we're going to do a showcase. So this one has the highest attack, 27. See the formation, as I showed you before. And Odie does the most damage here, 9.4, and then followed by Elsa. In the second team, Shakir and Kruger do similar damage. I'm gonna watch team 1 first. So Mikola goes in front first. Elsa jumps into the fray. Everyone gets pulled into the center, which is really good for Smokey and Mikola. Although Smokey gets interrupted a bunch of times, he's still able to pop off his ultimate. And even then, he will still get his ultimate interrupted. Okay, so you can still see that Setsahara can still be damaged even while he's circling around. He's not unaffected, he's not invulnerable, he doesn't have invincibility frames. He can still be attacked even though he's circling around. Okay, so that's pretty good, almost 20. Oops, so got out. Gotta get back in. It's the 27 one. And this is team 2. So everyone's kind of relying on Kruger so he can reduce Setsahara's physical defense. Yeah, not really too much to see here, so we're just gonna skip and move on. Next is the Wilder team. Here you have 2 different main teams that you can use. They actually are the same one, the only difference is Haywin versus Laika and Damien. No, Haywin and Damien. So it just depends on the other. So ideally you want to have these. For the secondary team, you're going all magic. And for the first team, it's a mix of magic and physical. From Floribel, you're getting the physical, which is why you use the evocation. Evocation applies on the summoned units as well. So that's why evocation is the best. Now, this is what I am using. So this is my team 1. It's different setup, but the same units. And then team 2, oh well, actually here I'm just using Parisa instead of Floribel, just making it all magic. And then here I'm using the Quick Blade with Floribel and Brian. So remember, it's okay to have different squads other than the meta. Like I said, you have to do testing yourself. Use the meta to help you as a guide, and then you can do your own testing if you like. Let's go through the charms. So Lily May, you want the purple or Gale. Haywin, all the greens here. Now you're not going to use Aeron, but if you do, then attack. Floribel, you want the purples. Damien, the greens. So the greens give boost their ultimate skill. You have Parisa here, very important, try to get the Mystic. And then Brian, I have these ones, but I don't have Gale. Try to get all Gale for Brian. And then for Laika, Mystic as well. And then Kafra, well, no one has him invested, but apparently he's pretty good. If you do get him, maybe get the Titanic, all the reds with the hammer on it. And we're going to look at the replay now. So this is team 1 of my formation. So here Lily May is getting 3, possibly 4 stacks. So you have Haywin, which gives 2, Parisa, which gives 1, not for the first cast, but the following cast. And you have Laika, who's also giving buffs. You also have evocation buffs from for Lily May, not the first one, but the following ones as well. So Lily May is getting quite a lot of stacks, a lot of buffs. She has 90 seconds to ramp up and to build upon her stacks. Rainier is there obviously to reduce, like to give bonus damage and reduce the amount of defenses it has in general. And Haywin is there for her seasonal ability, which grants the person who does the most damage more attack. So lots of good stuff there. And Parisa's also stacking her flowers. The longer the battle goes on, the stronger her explosion of her flowers will be. Okay, so we have number 2. This is the Florbell, Brian, and Damien. Hopefully it doesn't bug out. Okay, it has bugged out. It's a bit weird, but it's okay. We have Alona flying around. So I don't know why, but for me on that day that we had this squad, the Quick Blade just worked better than Evocation. You get the haste from Damien's toy. You have Brian doing magical damage with Ilona. I like how the bird flies around and follows Setsahara like this. It's pretty cool. Okay, so it just kind of keeps going like this in this cycle. And I'm trying to press escape. Okay. Okay, finally we have the Lightbearers, which I just covered yesterday. But just to recap, you have 3 different types of teams that you can go. So you have the Friesto Muriel. So team 1, this is the most meta one, where you go into Friesto. You have Cassidy, Marilee, and Muriel. Not everyone has a Muriel invested, so there are substitutes. You can use Walker or Rowan. Rowan is really good. I would recommend to swap for Rowan first. Try. In the second team, you have the physical damage team, which has Valor, Tamisha, and Corin. So here, because there's a mixed damage in the first team, that's why you use Evocation. In the true damage team, you have all the true damages like you're doing a Dream Realm boss, except you have Lucius, who has his seasonal abilities. Seasonal abilities, after a certain amount of time, he grants everyone bonus attack damage. And Tamisha also does true damage and reduces the boss's physical defense. Team 2, you have Rowan, Cassidy, and Muriel. And Rowan's just trying to give Cassidy and Muriel as many ultimate spams as much as possible. In the free-to-play, people might not have, Friesto or a lot of other people, or like Marilee and stuff invested, which is fine. So you just go to the as much damage as possible, and then in the second team you try to get something like this. People might not even have Vala, so you might want to use Walker or Valen or something or other of physical damage. This is what my composition looked like, and I put Lucius in front, Friesto here. Rowan is getting the energy, and Cassidy is getting the reduction, damage reduction. And then you have Marilee there, and so that's why you use Evocation, since you have mixed damage. Again, the goal is to try to get Rowan to spam his ultimate, so everyone else can spam their ultimates too. Team 2 is where the typical one, just physical. Okay, going through the charms, you have Overload, you have, well, the execution shouldn't be there, you should get Overload. It's just I don't have them. Again, you have another, yeah, so more overloads here. Corin, probably best to get Mystic. And then you have Lucius just trying to get damage, trying to boost his attack damage. And then Rowan, the best one is the blue mask. Just try to get him get energy on hit as quick as possible. And then, it's not in there, but if you have her and you have to use her, then just try to boost her damage or boost her haste. You can go Gale as well. Faye, we thought Faye was pretty good. You can try her. And if you have a mirror invested, you should probably go probably Mystic. I just don't have the charms for her. And then Valen, you should go all the hammer, the red hammer one, Titanic. Again, not many people have him invested, but people say he could be really good. And then Walker turned out, I kind of dismissed him in the last video, but he turns out he does decent damage. Just decent damage. And then, you know, shout out to Hammy and Chippy. And finally, Friesto, I put on Gale, and I didn't have a third Gale, so I just used Titanic. Now let's go to the replay showcase. Challenge records, Aurora squad. So I think the highest is this one. Yep, 25. So team 1, pretty interesting to watch. So Rowan gets himself in the center, which is really nice. And everyone who gets more ultimates stacked also help Marilee as well. So it's just really nice that Setsahara can bring everyone closer together, just taking advantage of that. And Rowan can give everyone his potions. So Marilee's bow is pretty stacked right now. Oof. Yeah, that's the sad thing about Rowan. He can get interrupted during his ulti. But he brings it up pretty fast. Check the damage. So you see Marilee and Cassidy is doing a lot of damage. Cassidy doing surprisingly a lot of damage. And then you have Rowan. And then, you know, Friesto here. Team number 2, you see Vala does a lot of damage. I obviously she does a lot of damage because she has plus 20. I plus 20'd her. I'm just gonna check her out. So it's not like Vala can ever go into sword mode. That's unfortunate because it's endless mode. So bit sad there. If she could somehow activate it, then she would do a ton more damage. That's the way it goes. Tamisha will eventually charge her Braveheart and she will be unaffected. There it goes. This is when everyone can get in some more damage. Alright, and we will stop there. I'm pressing escape, but it's not working, so I think it has to go through the 90 seconds. I can't get out. Alright. And that's it from me. This is all of the compositions. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, give a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Good luck with your Setsahara and your challenges and the Emporium. Bye.